Number 4, Dario Franchitti and James Hinchcliffe.
And James Hinchcliffe, as a rookie, not just a rookie, but doing his very first IndyCar race, gridded next to Franchitti. He is turning some heads here for sure.
Barber, will it be a repeat of St. Petersburg? Settle back with us. Welcome to the IZOD IndyCar Series on Versus as the Honda Indy Grand Prix of Alabama is underway. Graham Rahal gets the left side tire, right side tires off the course slightly, but everybody is through okay.
Very clean start. Very nice job. And we got trouble just as we were talking. It looks like
and it's
Hinchcliffe.
James Hinchcliffe. One of the rookies, James Hinchcliffe, moving up from the Firestone Indy Light Series, spins, doesn't stop. We stay green everywhere. Automatic fire sprinklers.
On board was Simona de Silvestro, and wow, that was the Hinchcliffe. That was Hinchcliffe turning it around quickly. Wow.
Boy, that's nice stuff right there. That's great.
And that's
driving.
a teammate.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. There's EJ Viso.
There goes Hinchcliffe.
Yep.
That's going to cost Briscoe a few spots right there.
Marco
Wow,
Andretti.
look at these guys going down in this corner.
A lot of
three abreast.
Kicked up.
Nice move.
Local yellow, turn 6 on the exit.
Simona de Silvestro is involved. That's EJ Viso in the number 59 car.
Full course caution.
That will be a full course caution because there is damage to those race cars, or at least one of them.
And James Hinchcliffe was the third car involved.
Yep. He
Definitely.
has rear suspension
Yeah,
damage.
he will not be continuing. Macho guys had the starter and then thought, well,
why bother?
No, he was actually looking, I think, over Viso's direction, but he had significant damage as well.
Here it is once again.
Castroneves comes up the inside, makes it 3 wide.
It looks like the 59 car just turned down a little bit too tight on Simona.
And there was definitely side-to-side contact. Viso tried to keep the wheel spinning to keep it going, but then, of course, had contact. Now, let's see. This will be the look at the right front, because that's where the contact happens. She gets squeezed in the middle of the sandwich.
I'm not sure she was hit by anyone or thing.
Just had a little tap on Viso, though, to get him turned.
Didn't take much in that corner. You're on the edge as it is. But
this is Kanan. Danica behind.
Tony
wow.
did a nice job.
Boy, he got some spots there.
Nice job.
Simona de Silvestro is out of her car. And so is EJ Viso.
Well, James Hinchcliffe and I started the day here at the IZOD Performance Pit Center, and unfortunately, we end the day here. What happened?
Yeah, you know, it's we got up to a rough start. You know, I was hoping to not make too many rookie mistakes. I made one on lap 1. We went around and fell to the back, but the team got me back onto a great strategy, and we were down to 2 stops, and I think we were running pretty well. And on that restart, you know, Simona, I think, got into EJ. That wasn't his fault, but, I mean, day 1 of racing school, you learn when you're spinning, you hit the brakes and the clutch, and he just hit the gas. And I went around the outside of him, hoping he just hit the brakes. He pinned it, the back end whipped around and took us out. So, I mean, it'd be easy to make a Viso joke right now. We're not going to do that, but it wasn't his fault he spun. He put himself in a bad position and then ended up taking outside too. So, unfortunate day for the whole team. You know, Newman-Haas deserved better than that today. Sprott deserved better than that today. But, you know, keep your head up and we'll move on to the next one.
You going to go have a conversation with him?
There's no point. I mean, if he doesn't know what he did, if he hasn't learned it yet, he's not going to learn it. So there's no point talking to him about it.
All right, thanks, James.
Thanks a lot.
All right, so cleaning up here at Barber.
You guys have the steering wheel in your hands. You know, try to give each other enough room, a little bit more respect. Here we have the conversation between the 2 gentlemen that got in the last wreck.
Hinchcliffe on the right and EJ Viso on the left. They are having a heated discussion, it would appear.
So much for, well, I don't really need to talk to him about it because he changed his, oh, there's a, you know, looks like reconciliation.
Okay, all right, all's well. See you in Long Beach. We're at the 6-minute mark of 10, and here is James Hinchcliffe.
Man, has he been impressive this year in qualifying.
Yep.
This is only his 2nd race. and they're completely different circuits. From Barber to here, this is a completely different setup, animal, everything.
Yeah, he's been very impressive, very smooth. Now I think you're going to really start seeing some laps laid down. I'll say Franchitti is up to 3rd spot.
And
there goes Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Ryan Hunter-Reay just went to the top.
Yeah, so in this last couple minutes, I think you're really going to see that board moving around.
And Conway's about to finish a lap that may bump teammate Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Wow. Certainly, coming up to a lot of the corners. Right there, how rough it is.
And he's getting some heat from behind from James Hinchcliffe. You say, oh, hang on a minute, that's not Hinchcliffe's colors. That's because he is driving the spare car for Oriol Servia after having a fire with that car on Friday.
Pound the curbs here, too.
160 on this straightaway, down to 2nd gear, turn 9.
James Hinchcliffe was pretty happy with the car this morning. He said he didn't think they would make any changes from what they sent into the morning warm-up. He said, though, it was a little bit difficult to tell exactly what they had because it was so cool this morning. Today is a little closer to the conditions that we've had throughout the weekend, but still cooler than what we saw on Friday and Saturday.
In 6 tries here at Long Beach, Tony Kanaan's best finish was 3rd in 2009.
Good second run so far for James Hinchcliffe. He is running in 11th. That's where he started. He told me this morning that even though it's a 2-stop race, you can still find an advantage by saving a little bit of fuel. If you can go 1 lap longer than everybody else, you're going to pick up some spots, and he was reminded of that just a little while ago, Marty. Real good run for James Hinchcliffe in his second start. His engineer is Craig Hampson, worked his way up in Newman-Haas and first served as the primary engineer for Sebastian Bourdais. Helped him to Rookie of the Year and then 4 straight titles. This is his first year back on the car at the track. After that, we're going to see Vitor Meira come into our view, and Vitor, as mentioned a little while ago, had some contact on pit lane with Graham Rahal. They think everything is...
Here they go. Line it up side by side.
Hey, Tagliani's got to run. Well, he had a run. These guys were stacked up, and he was going. See Franchitti looking for a spot. Boy.
Oh, Franchitti is going to get second. Ryan Hunter-Reay is going to lose.
Oh, Tagliani's all over the place. And Mike Conway shoots the gap.
Ryan Hunter-Reay maintained his position. Wow. I thought he was going to lose at least 1 position. Mike Conway up to 4th. Nice job by Mike.
What's happening is they're not forming up 2 by 2, and people are getting runs, and all of a sudden everyone's arriving in turn 1 at the same time. Look at Conway looking to the inside.
Up Dario Franchitti.
Very nice.
Conway, is he going to get the spot? Yes, he does.
And Ryan Hunter-Reay's in trouble. Ryan Hunter-Reay is off the pace.
Throughout the day. Kevin?
Great day for Newman-Haas. They've been here every time that Indy cars have run at the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach, 28, and they've won more than anybody else 6 times. James Hinchcliffe in his 2nd IndyCar start is 4th. He's done a great job of saving fuel today, and he's also been quick. Oriol Servia started this stint needing to save some fuel. He escaped the melee there. That caution, though, helped him to where he can run flat out. He's been told that he can use his overtake button off of every hairpin the rest of the way.
Wow.
Needless to say, Hinchcliffe is the highest placing rookie right now.
Marty, welcome to the Canadian portion of the program. James Hinchcliffe finished 4th. Alex Tagliani finished 5th. Let's start with the rookie. Race number 2. Okay, I think we'll take this, right?
Yeah, holy crap, yeah, top 5. I'll take that any day. It's funny, someone told me coming into the race between Atlantic and Lights and my time here, I have an average finishing position of 4.8, so who'd have thought we'd actually manage to maintain or make it even better in the IndyCar. But no, I think with the day we had Friday with the car catching on fire and the guys having to struggle to get the backup car out, it just says a ton for these boys. At Newman-Haas, I don't think we got the most out of the car in qualifying, but had a really consistent, really comfortable race car. Obviously took advantage of some other guys' misfortunes, but kept our nose clean and brought the 06 Brock car home in a top 5. Just fantastic result.
These are longer races than Lights cars. Show us your hands. You don't normally have to deal with that as much in the Lights races, so you got some blisters there.
It felt worse in the car. I thought they were going to look a bit uglier, but it's probably the the longest race I've done by a factor of 2. It's twice as long as anything, and the curbs here just really, I just got to man up a little bit, Kevin, is what's got to happen. Alex will tell you, it's just a rookie with very, very soft hands.
Nice job.
Thanks very much.
He's keeping the...
I'm James Hinchcliffe, and this is me, Uncut. I'm good at racing, but I'm very bad at cooking, cleaning, playing the guitar. As a kid, my favorite thing to do was play with toy cars. It sounds kind of sad and obvious, but it's true. Simple minds amused by simple things, right? You know me as a racing driver, but in real life, I like to scuba dive. I think if I wasn't a driver, I would move to an island somewhere, just be like a dive instructor and scuba dive every day. That would be fantastic. So just to, I guess, clear things up, being Canadian, I do like maple syrup when I do say a lot, but I do not live in an igloo or eat blubber or own a dog sled.
James Hinchcliffe has had a good season so far. So has his teammate Oriol Servia. Servia is 4th in points. Hinchcliffe is tied for 17th in points, but James Hinchcliffe did not compete in the first race at St. Petersburg. So both of the Newman-Haas drivers doing very, very well, and we are in round number 2 of knockout qualifying.
You can't lean back far enough in a car when you lose brakes.
Wow.
When you're trying to get out of the way of what you're going to hit. Yeah, he was very lucky. He had some brakes, but it looked like they had front brakes.
All right, we will have 6 drivers advancing from this group into the 3rd round of qualifying here at Sao Paulo. Robin?
The great thing about Hinchcliffe, fellas, is his personality is fabulous. It's what we need. He's a young guy. He's a young Canadian. You know, I mean, Tag, Lanny, and Tracy aren't getting any younger, so we got to have some guys from Canada to keep younger twice a year. But the thing that's great about Hinchcliffe is he's backing up his personality with his performance. I mean, Servia is a great teammate to have, but Servia's got 10 years on him, and he's outperformed him here this weekend, and the kid's really done a good job. And I think everybody's really happy because he went through Atlantics and through Atlantics and Lights, and both times he was winning races and he was getting closer. You're thinking, I wonder if this guy's ever going to make it, and obviously he's shown us he can.
Yep.
And it's still a big step. You jump in one of these cars, you know, it usually takes a little bit to get up to speed, but he's just jumped in it like he's been doing it for years.
And I think that's what's cool is that he's got that great person. You'd have heard of that interview. I mean, he's got a great self-depreciating sense of humor, and he's really, he did some commentary. He's trying for our job.
Leo missed.
So far, looks good. Yeah, everybody's being a lot more careful this time.
Whoops!
Oh, no,
Dixon.
you're kidding me.
Dixon is around. Oh, and another.
Bourdais.
Hinchcliffe.
Wow. And a couple of other cars at the top of your screen. Justin Wilson and James Hinchcliffe. And there is also James.
Cool, because when you get on the straightaway or these dry corners, it just chews the reins up. So although everybody's on reins, they're probably on different kinds of reins, just depending on how you manage it, how you kept it cool.
Sato looks like he's lost 4 spots by going through that painted area. Hinchcliffe, of course, smelling a loss of momentum, thinking, here comes another spot for me.
Good race, though, for the Canadian rookie, James Hinchcliffe, driving for Newman-Haas Racing. On the racetrack, he has completed 1 lap. James Hinchcliffe, the Canadian rookie, 225.721 miles an hour. He is driving for Newman-Haas Racing. Newman-Haas, believe it or not, as many times as they have been here at Indianapolis, has never won the race.
And James is another guy. This is his first oval qualifying experience in an IndyCar.
In an IndyCar.
Yeah.
He was able to do it in Indy Lights here. So, you know, James Jakes was totally cold.
Right. Yeah.
But at least that's the nice thing about Indy Lights is Hinchcliffe has had an opportunity at least. But he said this is 35 miles an hour faster.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a different animal when you take one of these cars around and going at these speeds. But, you know, we talked to him yesterday. He was really comfortable as far as being a rookie and everything. He was really calm and focused, and you know, I think he was really happy with the race car that they had, and figured that, you know, they're going to have to trim it out a little bit, but even though they're going to have to trim it out, he felt like the car was comfortable enough that they're going to get a solid speed in, and they were going to be really comfortable, you know, and it shows right now. The times are pretty good.
Down to Lindy Thaxton.
Dan, we heard your team tell you excellent job for these conditions. What exactly were you dealing with?
We just, this month has been a pretty, other than when it's been raining, we've had a consistent wind, and it's a little bit gusty today. It's picked up, and it's in perhaps a different direction to what we're normally used to. But for me to be back in the race car after a vacation period, shall we say, is phenomenal. I've been, blessed that Brian Herter, a good friend of mine, has put me in his race car, and he's put together a fantastic group of people with Steve Newey. The guys have worked incredibly hard, and I think everybody would agree in the paddock that the William Rouse cars is probably the best looking out there, in my opinion. It certainly is. But we've had a good month so far. We've been strong. The connection with Sam Schmidt Motorsports and working with Alex Tagliani and Townsend Bell has been very good. So I'm not sure if that will put me in the top 9, but I'm just very happy to be in a race car again.
Well, Dan's average 2:26.3, currently second. And
James Hinchcliffe is third quick at 2:25.572. Very good run for the rookie. So the 7 qualifiers so far in order. Tagliani.
We saw what happened to Hopin, and you said for your first ever qualifying run here, the wind made you really nervous.
Yeah, I mean, certainly doing a qualifying trim run here in good conditions is a bit sketchy, and when you have 20-mile-an-hour winds, it's obviously not ideal. And it was a bit hairy out there, especially in turn 1, which unfortunately we saw where Hopin went around. So we were lucky to get through it, I guess, and a lot of credit goes to the team. Newman-Haas always have great cars here, and to have a car that could deal with those conditions and still get us something in the mid-225s and get the Sprott car, I think, pretty decently in the field. We're pretty comfortable with that. It lets us rest a little bit easier now on a day where things could go wrong really quick.
Are you pleased with your speed?
Yeah, I am. I think again, given the conditions, I think mid-225s is around about where we expected to be, and we're sort of racing the other rookies, and J.R. Hildebrand got me by 7 1,000.
You were not happy when you saw that.
I was not pleased. But he's been super strong all weekend, so credit to him. Good job, and I think it's going to be a great race. We want to do a good job today, get in the show, and then we worked a lot more on our race car than our qualifying car because we want to be good over 200 laps, not just 4.
Now, people are wondering what's up with your nose.
I was saving a baby kitten from a tree.
Really?
Are you willing to buy that?
No.
If you're willing to buy that, then that's the story I'm going with.
No.
It was maybe some of you followed the Twitter day on Wednesday when everybody started planking. Let's just say this was an extreme plank gone wrong. So yes, concrete and face.
You plunked.
Basically, I was trying to this is pretty big to begin with, this whole situation. I was trying to shave a bit off for qualifying, but I was 7 1,000ths of a mile an hour too short on it.
Explain what planking is real quick.
It's sort of a tough thing to explain. It's basically...
You want to show it, or...?
I don't know if I want to actually show it. It's a weird phenomenon that's sweeping the world. It's pretty viral now, and essentially you get in the plank position, just stiff as a board, and lay in various positions and take photos of it. And I don't know how it started or where it started, but it came to IndyCar when we were all really bored on a rain day, and it just proves you should not leave drivers alone to their own devices. Rain days are bad for us. We need a car to drive, or else accidents happen, people, and that's a problem.
Yeah, Robin Miller, that might be against the rules here in pit lane anyway.
We do a lot of things against the rules here that no one knows about, Lindy, but I'll tell you this,
Back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, looks like we will be racing and qualifying very soon here for the Indianapolis 500 with James Hinchcliffe, who does not have to worry about qualifying today. A good spot for you to be in, and maybe a surprising spot as a rookie here.
Yeah, we certainly didn't know what to expect heading into qualifying weekend. On Thursday, we didn't have the car quite as quick as we would have wanted, but on Fast Friday, we found a bunch of speed in it. So, credit to the team there. Newman-Haas have always done a great job. And, 13th is not a bad place to be, and it certainly helped us sleep well last night and, not have to be stressing yesterday afternoon with all the bumping going on. And now today, the weather acting up. I'd hate to be one of those guys on the outside looking in right now, and I'm in a really fortunate position. So just big thanks to the team. Glad to have the Sprott car in the field and have a bit of a relaxing day.
Because on Friday, you were actually going through practice going, okay, now if I push this button, what does that do, and how do I do this during qualifying? You had a lot to learn in a short period of time, didn't you?
Well, yeah, because obviously this is the first qualifying attempt on an oval I've made anywhere, and here you do a lot more. There's a lot more going on in the lap. There's a lot of adjustments that have to be made. You're always chasing the car, so we have bars to work with, we have weight jacker to work with, we have dampers to work with. So during practice, I'm trying to figure out, all right, what does 2 clicks of weight jacker feel like, and what does a rear bar little stripper feel like, and what does a damper feel like? So I was having to figure these out one at a time. So we were out there on the qualifying run, I knew what to do and how to react, and it was a busy couple laps. There's no doubt. There's a reason why all these drivers say that qualifying at Indianapolis is one of the toughest things you'll ever do. It's basically holding your breath for 10 miles.
Because you are in, will you then get in the car and just try and hope you get some practice today, or what?
Yeah, basically, we went up this morning for practice, and we're just working on race trim now. And if now that the bumping started, if there's ever somebody not in line, they open the track up green for anybody to practice. So we're going to sort of sit in pit lane and wait for no cars to be in line on the track to go green. But given the conditions and the way this system works, I'd be pretty surprised if there was ever a time where there wasn't somebody ready to go out for a qualifying attempt.
So hurry up and wait. They're going to be ready all day if they can get some practice in, Kevin. They're hoping to if they get a shot, Kev.
And Marty.
Outside row 5, making his 11th 500 start, Idaho's Davey Hamilton. Starting 14th, Belgium's Bertrand Baguette. And inside row 5, rookie James Hinchcliffe.
As they come out of 4, the green flag flies. Here we go. Will it work as they head towards turn number 1? It's Tagliani, Dixon, Bell, and Servia.
This will be the race down to turn 1. Who's going to be more brave, or is somebody going to be able to take advantage of it? Dixon's got the better line.
And he'll take the lead. So Scott Dixon back out in front. Tagliani second. Oh, look out, car into the wall. EJ Viso is into the wall. Hard.
So that was our first double file restart.
And we almost made it.
And unfortunately for KV Racing, that is the second car for them that is out today.
Takuma Sato was our first caution, and now the second for Venezuela's EJ Viso.
Now the biggest difference, obviously, is the fact that they're starting side by side, but it looked like they were starting to get in line, Scott, didn't they? It looked tidy from what we could see.
They gave everybody space up there in the top side in turns 3 and 4. I think it was done picture perfect. Not sure how this came about, but we have unfortunately seen a lot of that with EJ over the years.
Let's go from high out top and see what happened.
No room.
Can't do 3 wide going into 1.
And it's not the last lap of the race. The first restart. Quite frankly, we should know better.
Yeah, absolutely. That is uncalled for.
On board with Ryan Briscoe.
Listen to Briscoe, gets off the throttle. He sees it transpiring in front of him, does an excellent job getting through all that. And Eddie, you've been through that, I've been through that. Man, your heart rate is just going through the roof.
And you're on automatic. Your hands are just, oh, how about Marco? Oh, that is close.
Go low, go low, go low. Yellow. Hey, good job.
Wow. That was great driving from Marco. That was very hard. He couldn't have been 2 inches away from that car.
Paper between the wheels.
Well, I was watching Briscoe's hands going back and forth, and I was thinking, left, right, left, right. Which way do I go? Back here at the Indianapolis 500, where we have just gone back to green flag racing, and the side-by-side double file restarts. We got them 3 wide coming into turn number 3. That's Ed Carpenter in the 67. It sorts itself out, and everybody somehow makes it through.
And the car on the high side right now, Thomas Schechter in the 07. Eddie, you know he's aggressive. He drove for you back in 2002, and he's just got his foot on the gas.
That's Anna Beatrice.
And he does not give an inch.
That was Anna Beatrice in the 24. Right behind is Ed Carpenter. And they make it through the corner once again. Up front, it is Franchitti and Dixon with Tagliani, Weldon, and Bell. That is your top 5. While things have sort of settled down, and there you see what it looks like from...
Well, let's talk about the man behind him, James Hinchcliffe, a rookie. Earlier this week, he told me he'd experienced just about everything. Getting into the field, being bumped, getting back in, rain, everything. Well, now he's experienced what his team is calling being the meat in a sandwich. He got squeezed, bumped the right front, had some suspension issues earlier on. Now the team says the car is fine. As a result, he's now running in 11th place. Vince?
Franchitti makes his way at 60 miles an hour down to the far end of pit road. Oh, in trouble. We have contact into the wall. The 06 of the rookie, James Hinchcliffe. He has tagged the wall at the halfway mark of the 500, our 4th caution of the day. Jamie?
Yeah, sorry, boys.
And this is you hear the radio there saying, sorry, boys. Dario Franchitti's second time today. The caution has fallen when he was on pit road again. Left out, full course yellow right now. It was the 9-second stop for Dario Franchitti. Marty?
Would you guys say that his life is charmed right now? Oh, my goodness. To have that happen once in a season is a big advantage. To have it twice and in the Indy 500, that's, I would say, very charming. There's the Hampshire safety crew. They are helping James get out of the car. And let's go back and take a look at what happened.
He's already up in the gray, guys. We're not sure why he got there. Maybe the car underneath him, he let the car go through, and that's on the exit of 3, so he's up on the north end of the short chute. But I can tell you he's a young rookie who did a very good job coming here with a lot of pressure on him from sponsors and a lot of following from Canada. This is something he didn't want to have happen, Eddie.
What has changed lately is the wind is now pushing the cars faster down the back straight, and they're probably picking up 3 or 4 miles an hour going into 3. But obviously he was hung out when he was past going into that corner, and we've seen that there just isn't enough grip once you get out of the line.
Yeah, you heard Jamie talk about the wind change, and let's listen and watch.
Ouch. That's almost a photocopy of what we saw before. Rick, what are you hearing?
Remember I said he'd gotten in that situation where he was like the meat in the sandwich. He got banged. They'd been chasing that, and they were talking about being the right front the whole time. After he hit the wall, he came on the radio and said, guys, I'm really, really, really sorry.
So he's on his way to the medical center for the mandatory checkup.
And Robin Miller is next. Robin.
Bobby, you know, some guys are happy to be in a race car. Our boy, Mayor Hinchcliffe, is just happy to be in the country because yesterday at 2 o'clock he could not get across the Canadian border to get to the United States, and he finally talked his way in here and got his visa, and he's getting ready to be bolted in to qualify. And you know, I know Robbie Floyd doesn't have that problem because he's an American citizen.
No, and I have Ryan Briscoe, who's a
Bob Jenkins, Jan Beekes, and Dan Weldon, winner of this year's Indianapolis 500 here in the booth. Robin Miller, Lindy Thaxton, and Robbie Floyd down pit lane as we're qualifying for tomorrow night's Firestone Twin 275s here on Versus. James Hinchcliffe is on the racetrack, and he practiced 22nd fastest at 212.495 miles an hour.
And here's a driver that I think has put together a fantastic rookie campaign so far. He seems to be, you know, very confident in his own ability. He seems to be willing to learn. He's got Oriol Servia as a teammate, and Oriol is a great guy to learn from. He's in a blessed situation, kind of like I was when I was a rookie, being surrounded by that individual that's willing to help, which you know, is not always the case.
Here's a checkered flag, and Hinchcliffe is 7th quick at 212.970. So not a bad run at all as we go down to Kevin Lee, who's with Alex Tagliani.
And Alex was on the pole at Indianapolis, but it's a new situation here. Still a fast race car.
Dario Franchitti leads the first of 2 races in the Firestone Twin 275s over Scott Dixon. And Oriol Servia chooses number 17, and next is James Hinchcliffe. Hinch, come on over here.
Go see Bob.
How was your first race?
My first race was very interesting. It's a great education to go run around here in Texas. It's a great track. We love driving here. It's a lot of fun. Bit of a rookie error coming out of pit lane there under the yellow. Past the safety car. Had a miscommunication as to where I was allowed to go exactly. So, you know, I think we were running about 13th and ended up 20th because of a penalty. So, but the good news about today is you got to go do it all over again, right?
That's right, and we'll determine here in just a few moments where you're going to start. Which side would you like? Going to ask for some help from the crowd. Now he's going to the far end. All right. What a ham. Okay, blame it on the crowd if it's a bad one. And it's number 9. Oh, good spot. Hinchcliffe will start 9th.
Ryan Hunter-Ray
up on Dario Franchitti, who's moved up another position to 26th.
And it's going to take a little while because of where he was starting and because of the traffic he was going to have to deal with. Somewhat that he's not used to. They added up some downforce. They wanted to make the car handle better in traffic, so it's not going to be as quick as he's used to. And it's going to take him a little while to get through that traffic.
12 laps completed out of 114 in race number 2 here at Texas Motor Speedway. A good battle there involving several cars. Howard, Hinchcliffe, Briscoe, Mir, and Dixon all in that bunch of cars running 7th through 11th. Back with more in a moment on Versus at Texas Motor Speedway.
Trim some of that drag out to make him faster, and you know, as you can see, he's spending off willpower.
Couple of laps ago. Oh, wow. Briscoe with both.
That was the one that we had seen.
Yeah.
And when you're doing that, Dan, just keep the wheel straight.
Tracy, Dixon, and Briscoe.
And those first 4 have pulled away by about 2.5 seconds. So.
Whatever they did to Marco Andretti's car, which Michael Andretti will not tell me is obviously working, because when I talked to Marco after race number 1, he said the car was horrible. It was loose. It had understeer. I said, what do you do? He said, hey.
More traffic back there for Justin Wilson.
And this
James Hinchcliffe, that's 20th and 21st.
And this is not what willpower is going to want to see with Scott Dixon charging. He's got 2 cars in front of him running side by side, and the track is blocked for him, so he's going to want to try and you know, get underneath this 06 car of James Hinchcliffe pretty quickly.
Trying to put them a lap down. 23 cars currently on the lead lap. Let's see how willpower handles the traffic here. He'll go to the inside of Hinchcliffe.
And I think once he clears the first car, Bob, he'll be able to kind of move through those guys pretty quickly. And yeah, he's cleared Hinchcliffe now, and he'll be looking to get past Wilson, which you can see there's a huge speed difference there.
Bob Jenkins, Jan Beekes, and Dan Weldon in the booth here at Texas Motor Speedway for the second race of the Firestone Twin 275. And down on pit lane, we have Robbie Floyd, Kevin Lee, Robin Miller, and Lindy Thaxton. We're watching Ryan Briscoe as he is alongside James Hinchcliffe, who is running in 21st position. Briscoe is 3rd.
Look how close they get, and I can promise you, in the cockpit, these cars actually feel faster, and it looks a lot closer as well. So you know, it's incredibly intense at this racetrack, and I think with 84 laps gone, people are going to start to really push the envelope on how close they run side by side.
He says Hustle, he does not want to go down a lap.
There's Danica Patrick trying to get underneath her teammate. We can tell you, it looks like Sato is going to be successful on staying on the lead lap, which here at the Milwaukee Mile is pretty impressive. Danica's got her hands full right now with James Hinchcliffe, and that is a battle for 8th position. Boy, and he's on the outside, and he takes it.
You know, he had a car that he was not trusting earlier in this week. When I spoke to him, he said, you know what, I'm just going to put my teammate's setup on, and that's what he went out and qualified with. He was just now getting used to the car because he said, I was going in the wrong direction. I don't have the experience here. We talked about rookies really going to school at this track, and now he thinks that he has something that he can at least finish and be comfortable with his teammate, Royal Servia, up there in 3rd.
That's right. It's Franchitti, Canan, Servia, Castroneves, and EJ Viso running in 5th place right now.
And try and catch back up to him. Now he came a little bit low coming out of 2 to try and stop the run of Marco Andretti in the 26 machine. Marco pays the price for it right now.
And right behind him, he's got James Hinchcliffe. This is Hinchcliffe's best run. He is doing a fine job right now. He is the best running rookie in the field.
This track is all about momentum, Marty. You have to carry the speed in the turn, through mid-turn, and the exit, or you'll be a sitting duck by the time you get down to the next end of the track.
Getting close. And it'll be Dario Franchitti right alongside, then Tony Kanaan 3rd, and James Hinchcliffe, the rookie, in 4th position. Now, he has raced once here in the Indy Lights Series. There he is in the 06 car going through your screen. He started in 2009, finished 7th in that race.
Well, you know, and aboard that Sprott IndyCar machine right now, I'll tell you, I spoke to him the other day, and he goes, Indy Lights car is one thing around here. He says, driving an IndyCar, boy, this racetrack goes past you a lot quicker than it ever has before.
He finished 4th, his best of the year, back at Long Beach. And Elio Castroneves.
I think, I mean, I'm not blaming him or anything. It was just I wanted to be as close as possible to him because the marbles, and it was a tough one. I just brought rush him and he sent me to the wall.
We're back to green flag racing. Marty?
And boy, are they slicing and dicing as you finish up, Jamie Little. That's Charlie Kimball coming back out onto the racetrack. He got the wave around along with James Jakes, but what a battle. Castro Neves on the high side.
And that effect on the inside, Charlie Kimball being there. That's a shame.
So it drops Franchitti all the way back to third. Kanaan has now moved up to second. Look at this action going on a little bit further back. That's Hinchcliffe with the 12 of Will Power on board with Danica. And here comes Serbia. Remember, he is trying to fight his way back up. He was as high as third earlier in this race. Serbia, another one of those cars that's really good on new tires. That's what happens with Dario Franchitti. Side by side. Are they going to try and make it 3 wide? Danica goes down onto that very, oh, it's so slippery down there. She holds onto it, but can't make the pass. So Hinchcliffe holds on to 7, Danica 8, and Marco Andretti in 9th.
James Hinchcliffe moves on to the track. Best speed was 177.913, 24th fastest, Kevin.
And he only got 30 laps in practice today because they had an oil line break, so they weren't even really up to speed. They were still working on things like ride height, so he's coming into this pretty blind. They simply had to take the setup that his teammate Oriol Servia had, and he's going on blind faith, he said. So he'll just hang on to it, try to stay down low.
And he, of course, is making his first start in the IZOD IndyCar Series on this track. First lap's a good one, 179.069.
And Bob, that's a great thing about having a good teammate. You saw Tony Kanaan and Takuma Sato talking about Tony's run. I'm sure Oriol Servia would have spoken to James about, you know, how Oriol's car was in practice, and you can see that was a solid run.
179.385. He is second quick. Here's Robbie.
Alex Tagliani currently Q4 right now, but
down to Robbie Floyd, who's with James Hinchcliffe, who's now third quick.
He dropped to third, but you're still smiling after that. You ran down here to Oriol Servia, who helped you so much in that 6th place finish in Milwaukee. What did you have to say to him?
Yeah, like you say, I mean, without him in Milwaukee, with the way we sort of got the setup going in the wrong direction, we'd have been nowhere. So going first, I just ran down here, wanted to let him know what the car was doing. I don't want to tell you guys that, but I think he was obviously pretty good. You know, we had some problems in practice with an oil line going bad, and I only got about 30 laps and never actually got a flat-out lap. So it was a bit of an exercise in faith to go out there and keep it flat, but it was good.
So Oriol helps him out of Milwaukee. Now he's trying to pay back the favor this week as Marco Andretti out on the track.
You just got to be super impressed with the Newman-Haas team this year with Hinchcliffe and Servia. They have been outstanding. First lap for stretch out the advantage just a little bit as we drop back here to find out what's going on with James Hinchcliffe, who is 7th, and on board with Ryan Briscoe trying to get that position.
And you saw that, Bob. James Hinchcliffe just came up into Ryan Briscoe's air, and it made Ryan just push up the track. You can see Ryan's got a good race car, but when cars move around, it's very difficult to stay flat out, which is very important around this track to complete an overtaking maneuver.
So Briscoe moves up to 7th position. James Hinchcliffe in the 06 car back to 8th. 12 laps make that 13 laps into 250. This race is going to go by very quickly with 17-second laps. It's Franchitti, Sato. Right now it is Dario Franchitti with about a 0.6 of a second lead. There he went, right over your head. He has about a 0.6 of a second lead on Takuma Sato, the pole sitter. Kanaan is running in 3rd position. Here is Ryan Hunter-Ray, who is back in the 8th position. And right behind him is James Hinchcliffe.
Now, James had said earlier today that although, and you heard Oriol Servia in the pre-race show talk.
Here comes Will Power, the championship leader. You can see his on board. He's in an unfamiliar pit position, but he does have a clear exit. Power is coming in. They'll change all 4 tires. They are not going to make any adjustments, and Lindy Will Power is out. Oh, and he comes together with Charlie Kimball. Kimball was coming into his pit stall while Power was going out, and heavy contact with the championship co-leader. They'll back Power out. Kimball is backwards.
James Hinchcliffe also had to wait, but definite, as Kevin was saying, severe damage up there. If it's only the nose cone, they may be able to get it done and not lose a lap.
And
Looked like Charlie Kimball was a fair way back, but no, that you don't want to wave your driver if you know the position in Charlie Kimball. Now, Charlie Kimball was in the fast lane, though, wasn't he? He should have been one more lane down since he was coming into his pit.
As Sato and Castro Neves battle it out for the third position. Kevin?
James Hinchcliffe was running 8 before that caution coming into the stop. They couldn't get the fuel hose engaged, so he dropped all the way back to 22nd. They did come in and top off right at the end of that caution, and he's starting to pick up speed. The car's still good, but Hinchcliffe lost all that track position.
Back in 18th and 19th, Sebastian Saavedra and James Hinchcliffe.
And it made his car push on up, and hopefully for him, he won't lose the momentum where another car gets in from behind.
This is the battle for 10th spot. Ryan Briscoe on board, looking back to J.R. Hinchcliffe.
And that's unbelievable. Ryan Briscoe is the lead Penske car in 10th place, and he's being attacked by Hinchcliffe. Castro Neves is now 16th, and you know, Hinchcliffe is he's not giving up. He's trying hard.
It's good to see guys like James Hinchcliffe and J.R. Hildebrand having great races on this kind of a racetrack.
And I think James Hinchcliffe is doing a fantastic job as a rookie. He's in a blessed position. He's got Oriol Servia, a great teammate, a wealth of experience. You know, feels very comfortable in that environment, and that's really helping James.
Past J.R. Hildebrand.
And one just did, and that was Ryan Briscoe, who had a great stop.
Ryan Briscoe really deserves the luck to go his way. He's had a couple of unlucky breaks this season, and he'll want to make the most of this. And I'm going to go down to Kevin.
Great stop for Ryan Briscoe and the 6 team. They're looking for their first win of the season. Now a quick pit stop gives them an opportunity, and also a fortuitous caution helps.
Got a feel for Oriol Servia as we look at his teammate J.R. Hildebrand. It's the pit stops. You know, they had a couple problems in Milwaukee. We know we've had one here, and now the fuel not flowing. It's like, oh man, we've got a fast car.
He's able to run close, and he's probably going to have a good run here. Tony blocking a little bit, or hugging the inside, I should say, right now.
And we have another battle on the right side of your screen. Hinchcliffe and Patrick going for the 8th spot.
Ryan Hunter-Reay
definitely play a factor here in the closing laps.
Oh, and there was contact.
There was a touch.
EJ Viso contact. It didn't hit anything, but there was definitely side-to-side contact for Viso.
And I'm assuming that must have been with Briscoe.
That creates a log jam and a battle for position back there. Briscoe, Hinchcliffe, Castro Neves, Hunter-Reay, all back there in that area.
Oh, it's because J.R. Hildebrand shot to the inside and tried to take them both.
Went from last up to his highs about 12th, but he felt like something might have broke, so we'll check on that. Takuma Sato has been checked, cleared, and released. In fact, he's back out on pit road cheering on his teammate Tony Kanaan. And Will Power has been determined to have a mild concussion, so he will need to be cleared before.
Less than 90 seconds to go. These sessions go by very, very quickly. Scott Dixon does not have a pole this year. His best start was 2nd at Indianapolis. Well, Hinchcliffe now is on the outside looking in. If you look at the top of the screen, he is 7th quick, so trying to move up at least one more position. We got a glimpse there of Charlie Kimball, who nosed into the tire barrier just a little bit earlier in this session, but he's back out there.
And I stand corrected. Our data was inaccurate. He is, in fact, on alternates as so. Yes, clearly when you get a good shot of Hinchcliffe, he is also amongst those that are on the red sidewalled alternates.
And he's going to be hoping for extra grip. He's a couple of hundredths off of 5th place, but right now he's in 7th, and he's going to want to get into that top 6.
34 seconds to go. Remember, qualifying is not, well, he's coming in.
Oh, they told him to pit. Oh, that's bad news.
And that's frustrating. You know, they run as little fuel as possible for weight. And, you know, if you think you've got that extra lap in you and you're out of fuel, you just can't do it. So that's when it becomes, you know, very frustrating, particularly when you're 7th.
Shaking his head, obviously very disappointed.
Are we out of gas? The gas.
Yep, confirm that only enough fuel, as Dan said. You got to keep the car light. Saavedra out there still working on a lap.
Go to Lindy.
With James Hinchcliffe right on the edge there. You didn't have enough fuel to keep going. Do you think you could have done it had you been able to?
Yeah, that's the disappointing thing. You know, if we had a 13th place car, then you'd be happy with 13th or 14th, wherever we'll end up. But I think we had a much better car than that. The way the session played out, you know, we caught some yellows and some traffic. And, you know, I think of an 8-lap run, I didn't get more than 3 actually on it. So it's a little bit disappointing because it's the first time you're driving the reds all weekend. You're exploring, trying to find the grip. And like I said, the car was there. We didn't have circumstances sort of fall in our favor, so it's kind of disappointing.
How did those reds compare to the blacks you've been practicing on?
You know, they were great. I mean, I was really happy with the balance. The balance was really close to the blacks and just a ton more grip. You know, it's a lot more fun driving on the reds than the blacks. So, yeah, I wish we had more opportunity to drive them in practice and learn a bit about them because ultimately you're trying to figure it out in 3 or 4 laps here in qualifying when it all matters. So, tough break here in the home race and, you know, the home event for Sprott. But, you know, Sunday's a different day. We'll try and bring it up in the race.
And now James can just sit here and watch. Bob?
Well, let's go back to the morning warm-up today. I understand that you mixed it up a little bit with James Hinchcliffe in there. Here's the monitor. If you were in front, so you may not have had the vantage point on this. And I think James eventually is going to say hello to you here.
Well, I had a lock up there and ran a little wide. That's a pretty tough place to pass. I mean, it's only one car wide. So, I mean, that's kind of the pitfalls of this racetrack. It's a very narrow track. It's very slippery. It's really easy to lock up and really super easy to go down the runoff zone. But you'll see a lot of hand gestures today. There's definitely going to be some people that leave this race more unhappy than happy. So double file restarts here are going to be extremely tricky with the lead up to it. So, you know, hopefully we can stay out of all the carnage, not be involved in any of it, and get a good result.
Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by here. This is the Hinchcliffe family home in Oakville, Ontario, just outside Toronto, and I guess this is effectively Hinchtown. When I had my first test with Newman-Haas at Sebring back in December of last year, I went out to dinner with my dad and they had Newman's Own wine, and my dad said, "This is a sign." Still have the bottle, and I'm driving for Newman-Haas, so there you go. So we're here now in the basement, which is sort of the racing shrine of the house, and it's tough to miss this right off the bat. Obviously, this one's sort of my pride and joy. This is actually a race-worn Greg Moore helmet, which obviously means a lot to me. It's a race-worn Jacques Villeneuve helmet. Got a bunch of the Canadian drivers covered here: Paul Tracy, Ron Fellows. Yes, you may notice there's an Elio Castroneves helmet here, and it's sort of weird to have a helmet of a dude that you're racing against, but I'm just such a fan. I'm a big Elio fan. This was my nightlight growing up. Yeah? I mean, if that didn't sort of get into my head what I wanted to do, what else would, right? It kept all the bad things away at night. So you've seen my house, where I lived and grew up, but this is where I spent a lot of my time when I was younger. This is Lakeshore in downtown Oakville. It's a really cool strip of road here. Now my girlfriend Melissa and I are gonna take you to one of my favorite spots to eat and drink. It's called O'Finn's Irish Temper. That's not what I ordered. I'm just kidding. I always said that one day I wanted to own this place. That's how much I like it. So I'm still holding out for that. So now that you've seen a bit of Oakville, we're gonna head out to Burlington and go see my sister's dog spa. And some of you may or may not have seen the video of me getting into the dog spa. Well, now we're gonna go check the place out.
Nice to have you in town.
Yeah, it's nice to be in town. Everybody, this is Sister Hinch, or Rebecca, I guess she's officially known. Sadie, how's it going? Look, she looks like an IndyCar driver, just going around in circles and going around in circles and going around in circles and going left. There you go, it's official. We have the same intelligence and, you know, level of entertainment that a dog has. That's all that takes, is just going around in circles.
I don't know. Try this one on. Cherries.
24
nice.
years I've been putting up with this. 24 years. As if getting in the dog spa wasn't enough.
Oh my God. There's the mayor of Hinchtown. You gotta love a guy who doesn't take himself too seriously, but he has to be serious right now. Starting in his hometown in an IndyCar race for the first time, one of 3 Canadians on the grid. Alex Tagliani has the best starting position. James Hinchcliffe has finished as high as 4th this season at Long Beach. Well, Will Power will
position. Canadian James Hinchcliffe carries our Firestone onboard camera.
On board with Briscoe.
That's a pretty good shot right there.
Ryan Briscoe has reported.
On board with James Hinchcliffe here, who's up to 11th position.
And Bob, I think James Hinchcliffe and Oriol Servia, both Newman-Haas cars, they seem, you know, very good over a long run. The warm-up was promising for them, and here we go for a double file restart.
James Hinchcliffe relinquishes 6th position for a pit stop. He's finished and going away, and while we were away, you saw in non-stop, Dario Franchitti made a stop. We predicted maybe lap number 35, but there's probably a good reason for it, Jan.
Well, now you'll see he falls right next to Ryan Hunter-Reay, and that's what happens when you go on this other strategy. I just think, Bob, the more people that peel off, like James Hinchcliffe, it just makes you so vulnerable at the front. Dario Franchitti figured, hey, they're being held up by a slow car, I'm going to pit.
JR's car was really sliding around there on that restart.
Back in 3rd is Justin Wilson, then Ryan Hunter-Reay. Here's a good battle for 5th. That is Ryan Briscoe and James Hinchcliffe.
Oh, he gets to the inside. No, he gets chopped by
Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
And the problem is that's allowed Paul Tracy to close on in behind Ryan Briscoe. So, you know, he's going to have his mirrors full of a good Canadian that's desperate to get up front.
Here's Briscoe to the inside of James now into turn 1, and he gets him. And Scott Dixon moving up. Oh, Conway.
Vitor Mira.
All of a sudden, these guys smell the front. Like everybody's standing up in their seat a lot more right now.
And there's Paul Tracy on the inside of Hinchcliffe, and he just oh no!
Look at this.
He never gives an inch, never. This is 2 Canadians.
Yeah, look out!
Oh, Tracy.
Boy, I think he saved that thing. He may have a little bit of damage on the wing, but boy, what a save.
Man.
Yeah.
That front wing.
Yeah, he does.
Who said Canadians aren't competitive, huh?
Really? And Hinchcliffe.
He locked the rear brakes there.
Yeah, flat rear tire.
Wow.
Guys,
and James Jake spins.
Guys, and one thing that's been very apparent, Scott Dixon has been on a mission. He's up to 7, so he really has made the most of this restart. Here's Paul Tracy in the pits.
Yep, going to replace the nose on the car. This is the driving forward.
Oh, it's Ray.
Damage for Hunter-Reay.
Plus, we came in at the right time. Everything was looking good for Tracy until he got into it with his own countryman. He said that was one of the dumbest things he had ever seen as we take a look at it. Bob?
And here it is once again on board with Hinchcliffe. There is Tracy beside him, and contact coming up.
They make it all the way through turn 5, though. They just
good tight racing right there.
Keep after it. It's not till right here.
And they just didn't give each other an inch. You could see, actually, Paul Tracy had contact with Briscoe as he was trying to stay on the inside of Hinchcliffe. And then, you know, obviously Hinchcliffe just didn't give him quite enough room. Let's get into one another. And Canadian.
Here it is.
Oh!
Tracy into the back of Mira. And, you know, in Tracy's defense, Mira didn't have that lane open that you and I talked about when we had that touchscreen.
It's on board with Hinchcliffe.
Wow, where do you go in all that smoke?
Dixon takes
I'm sure he's unhappy, but I was unhappy as well.
Whoa! Oh, no. Wilson. And several involved.
Wow. Man, this race is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it.
It is crazy.
Kimball.
Now James Hinchcliffe.
Now you get a good view of Marco. Pow.
Oh. Man, they're all fighting for real.
Wow, look at the parts flying.
Now keep an eye, if we can, on Hinchcliffe. He still has a good lap going. He's already... No, he's not in a transfer spot, but he has a lap, and he does it. He goes up to 3rd.
How about that? James Hinchcliffe, one of the Canadians, is currently 3rd.
Wow. That's what happens when Anna Beatrice brings out a caution. All of a sudden, this thing gets, okay, you got 2 laps.
Sense of urgency, yeah.
Get it done.
And Robbie Floyd is with James Hinchcliffe.
At the Sprott 06, it was a close call on the outside looking in on that last lap. What happened?
Yeah, I came around and they told me that the number I had to hit on that last lap to make it in, and then coming out of turn 9, I tapped the wall pretty hard with the left side tires and still had about half the lap to go. So it was a nerve-wracking second half of the lap, but, it was a great car. Good job for the boys. We luckily snuck in there.
See them checking on the car. Is everything straight and square?
Yeah, they tell me everything was fine. Just, maybe a bit of damage to the rim, but toes and everything look good. So strap on another set of Firehawks and see what we can do in the next qualifying.
Good luck in round 2.
Thanks a lot.
James Hinchcliffe from Toronto, Ontario, and we're still following Elio Castro. Here comes the field through turn number 13. We're going to begin our pit coverage with Lindy Thaxton as she will be watching the pit stop of the guy running 4th right now, Takuma Sato.
And all 3 KV pits right next to each other. Could be tricky. I'm told Sato will take black tires and get a tire pressure adjustment, hoping to help with those brake issues. Down to you, Kevin.
I saw Hinchcliffe. There he is.
Yeah.
Now, he couldn't have run out of fuel, could he? Would it be that close?
No, he should not have run out of fuel.
Okay, when they get you restarted, go round 1 time before you come into the pits.
I don't believe he's lost a lap yet.
Yeah.
Which is why they would tell him to go ahead and close that gap, because they don't want to lose that lap. Now there's your answer. He didn't run out of fuel, otherwise it would not have restarted.
Go around 1 time and then come into the pits.
Understand the race control is reviewing the situation regarding Mike Conway, who had the contact with Oriol Servia.
We just need to close the gap.
We'll await the decision from race control. Hinchcliffe is moving once again. There is Tagliani, who was penalized earlier, is in 2nd. Now we question why James Hinchcliffe was stalled on the racetrack, and there is the reason why.
You have to jam on the brakes to avoid getting in the back of Danica and stall the car.
Now, Wally, during the break, you made the comment, hang on a minute. Now, Mike Conway, who took out Oriol Servia, is leading this race.
And out in 10.9.
Wow. James Hinchcliffe also getting service on pit lane. He rolls back out.
To try and save fuel now to make the end and not to make that window. That car was falling apart.
And so these are those that are rolling the dice on the 2nd pit stop. Now they need a caution to come out before the leaders do to get that kind of free pass we saw earlier from Tagliani. Those guys.
James Hinchcliffe talking with his teammate Oriol Servia. 7th for you, impressive. That's not bad for a guy who didn't test here, is it?
Yeah, well, exactly. Missing the test last week, I think, put us on the back foot a bit. But big thanks to this guy here, because they were here testing, and we got to roll off on Friday with a really good car, and we were good in first practice and pretty good this morning. So, best road course start for us. We're pretty pleased about it. Sucks to get that close again in the Fast 6 and not quite get in, but still, a great day for Newman-Haas, for Sprott and everybody.
For these guys in the Fast 6, what kind of track are they dealing with right now?
The track conditions are pretty good right now. We had the World Challenge race before we went out, and we weren't quite sure. We hadn't been after them yet this weekend. Weren't sure what the rubber was going to be like, and the track seemed pretty good. And it's it's obviously getting faster every session as we lay down some of that Firestone rubber. So I'm jealous I'm not out there with them, because it's probably pretty quick right now.
You might be glad if it's raining in about 5 minutes that he's not out there, though, guys.
Well, Newman-Haas Racing has 3 victories here at Mid-Ohio. Their first came with Mario Andretti in '84, and then they won with Michael Andretti in '90 and '91, and Bobby Rahal, whom we talked to just a few moments ago, won twice here in '85 and in '86.
Now watch the end, and we look forward to good racing today. We talked about Justin Wilson's injury, and he is on the thoughts of drivers in the paddock. There's James Hinchcliffe, who's going to start 7th today. Everyone wishing Justin the best. Hope to see you back here on the IndyCar circuit very soon. Well,
of corner number 2 down the straightaway, and the Honda Indy 200 underway, and Scott Dixon will lead them down. A lot of shuffling behind him.
Outside, center.
This is really a difficult place to run side by side, too. These good corners here, and then we got somebody off. I was going to say, if everybody gets through here cleanly, it's really hard, very tricky, because the corners are uphill, downhill, you're turning, they're off camber.
That is James Hinchcliffe that has dropped off the racetrack, but gets back on, hopefully. That car did not sustain any damage, and he'll be able to get going once again.
Oh, there's Castro Neves.
Marty?
Well, not that I need to add more fuel to Wally's fire and Robin Miller's fire as well, but James Hinchcliffe came on the radio, very animated, said, tell me how a driver who's on probation just put me into the grass and nothing is done about it. I am not happy. Now, I don't know who he's talking about, but he was around Ryan Hunter-Reay and Alex Tagliani at the start of this race, but Hinchcliffe not happy by being put off the course.
That would make you angry.
Yes.
Maybe they should they should paint the end of the wings day glow for everybody that's on probation, so you know.
Well, it is also not unusual for if a driver has contact with another and you know they're on probation, you'll play that card. You will definitely call back and say, that guy is on probation. You got to throw him out of here.
I'm surprised at you, Jan, that you would bring that up.
Let's see if we can determine what happened. On board was Sato. Up ahead.
And that is Alex Tagliani. Oh. Now, Alex, he looked like he had to move to the right because of Kimball to his left.
Exactly. He was avoiding a wreck, and unfortunately, Hinchcliffe was on his right. So that's a tough call.
And
that's bad luck.
Hinch wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Hinchcliffe started 7th. He has dropped to the back of the field and is currently running in 27th position. At the front of the field is Scott Dixon.
Well, remember, James Hinchcliffe started 7th today. Currently, he's running back in the 25th position, struggling, obviously, to get back up through the field, but has calmed down since he was knocked off course early on by Alex Tagliani. He said the car just doesn't feel the same in the right-handers as it's felt all weekend long. Clearly, that off-course excursion hurt the chassis a little bit as well. Kevin?
In front of him just a few minutes ago as James Hinchcliffe makes a pit stop. He was running in 25th position, Marty.
Yeah, and obviously after they went off track, their day kind of went askew, so they're going to pit earlier here than obviously everybody else. And what they're going to hope for is a couple of cautions here. 7.7 on the stop, and I believe you have a caution on the
might have got it.
It is Sebastian Saavedra.
Now, it's possible they said there was a few locations they could handle it under a local yellow. So far, they have not, as I say that, they've gone full course caution. So that is what James Hinchcliffe was hoping for. You couldn't time that any better.
That's perfect for Hinchcliffe. He's going to come out smelling like a rose on
Now,
this
he was
deal.
pretty early, though. He came at 20. Last year, Alex Tagliani did it, but he had to go to lap 22. So Hinchcliffe will need a little addition, but still, it was great timing on his part.
Down to Marty quickly.
Well, this is where Craig Hampson says, I planned that all along, right?
Yeah, this is not what we programmed in the pre-race strategy meeting. Yeah, Tagliani pushed James off the track there, and we went mowing through the grass, and we were dead last. And it's just really hard to pass in dirty air. So we took a gamble. We need 7 laps of yellow flag to make it on one more stop like everybody else. If we don't get 7 yellows, we're going to have to splash.
That's how you work it out, though. Back to the back, and then you go to the front with a little strategy. Green flag, Bob.
Nice restart as a nice, slow, two-aggressed formation came down, and Hinchcliffe is going to take first from Danica Patrick rather quickly, and Scott Dixon is going to try a pass on the outside.
Yeah, and I think new tires is huge right here on this restart.
There was almost contact between Danica and Dixon.
I think there was. Danica tried to hold off the challenge of Ryan Hunter-Reay, and Danica apparently will be making a pit stop here.
Now, it's worth saying that Craig Hampson said that Hinchcliffe wanted 7 laps of yellow. Don't forget, they got 5. So he only needs 2 more. He doesn't need 7 from there. He needs 7 total, so he's close.
Definitely worth the gamble.
Absolutely, especially when you get pushed off on the grass and go to the back.
You got nothing else. Yeah, you have to.
Dream come true right here.
And I think, Dixon's car's obviously working really, really well. He's being really patient here. He's going to catch Hinchcliffe, and he's going to, make sure that if when he gets by him, it's a clean pass. But Scott's car looks really, really hooked up.
But for Hinch, he has 2 things going against him. One, he needs at least a couple more laps of yellow, and they're not going to turn him loose to full fuel. He's going to have to be doing some fuel saving, so if he gets his 2 laps of yellow, he's still good. So he's not going to be able to be as aggressive as Scott Dixon, but right now doing a great job, Marty.
Doing a fantastic job, and they have reminded him several times, as you can imagine, Jan, take it easy. We do still have to save fuel to be able to make it. But he said, remember, everybody else is kind of in our same boat. We're on the same strategy as everybody else. So they really got a gift in all this track position. And he told me this morning that if I could get a top 10, I would be happy. If I could get a top 5, I would be very happy. I imagine what he would do if he got a win, guys, with this rookie. I'm sure he'd be thrilled with that.
He has a top 5 finish, as you saw. Long Beach, his best finish in 4th position, but he has 3 other top 10 finishes. That was a 9th place finish at Long Beach, a 6th at the second race in Texas, and a 9th in Iowa. James Hinchcliffe, the Canadian rookie, trying to stave off the challenge of Scott Dixon, with whom we ride.
You heard a little bit of the radio transmission. Good thing they did.
Yeah. I mean, that's same car, same spot.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
A little spooky.
Yeah.
Well, the Canadian rookie is doing a fine job holding off Scott Dixon.
Now, Dixon's got to be looking in his mirror right now, because Franchitti is making a little bit of ground up on him.
You see the top 3 there, but Will Power is some 5 seconds back in 4th position, so he's not keeping up with the top 3. There's the interval between 3rd and Dixon taking a look to the inside here. Robin, what's on your mind?
Well, think about this, Bobby. Hinchcliffe didn't get to run the first race. The deal came together late. There was talk that he wasn't going to be able to race after Edmonton, and he didn't come to the test last week, but I think Bernie Haas stepped up and got in her pocket and said, no, we're going to keep running this kid because he's done a good job, and he's rewarding her today.
Absolutely.
Done a great job.
Yes.
Newman-Haas Racing has won 3 times here at Mid-Ohio. That's the team for which James Hinchcliffe competes.
And you heard from Craig Hampson earlier. Of course, he was the race engineer for Sebastian Bourdais in Champ Car, winning all of those championships. And he is obviously Hinchcliffe's engineer and has passed on a lot of that. He's a very, very smart guy.
3 cars, same speed. It's 36, probably 20 till we stop.
Only 1 full course caution so far. That was for Sebastian Saavedra, who took his car into the tires. In Newman-Haas Racing, James Hinchcliffe has a 4th place finish for that team this year, and Oriol Servia a 3rd. This is the 12th year that a Newman-Haas car has led here in Mid-Ohio. Hinchcliffe joins this list. Mario and Michael Andretti, Justin Wilson, Paul Tracy, Christian Fittipaldi, and Cristiano D'Amata as drivers who have led here at Mid-Ohio driving for Newman-Haas. James Hinchcliffe had this problem in the very first lap of the race. That's Alec Tagliani actually not making contact, but veering to the right and forcing Hinchcliffe off the racetrack. He fell back to the final spot, 27th, but then made a pit stop and caught a caution to put him in the lead.
And race control deemed that Alex Tagliani was taking evasive action, and Wally agrees. So we're all good.
It's good when Wally agrees, isn't it?
Alternate versus primary battles. You saw the red sidewalls there. That's going to give you a bit more speed. I will say for Hinchcliffe, his lap times are excellent. In fact, this last lap was his fastest lap. Let's hear the answer. How am I doing on mileage? And that's how you size somebody up. You need to know, can I really go after someone and attack, or do I have to save? Marty?
And you talk about how impressive Hinchcliffe has been today, Jan. Even more impressive considering the fact they did not test here. One of the very few teams who did not test here. He had to rely almost completely on Oriol Servia for all of his information because they did test here. Now, he does have 3 Indy Lights races here. He did finish 2nd in one of those races. But on Friday, he told me, different world here in an IndyCar versus an Indy Lights car.
And again, that interval back, but between Today's aerial view provided by Honda as we're overhead the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course located near the small town of Lexington, Ohio. A beautiful day for racing just past the halfway point of the Honda Indy 200. James Hinchcliffe is the leader, and the leader at the halfway point has won the Honda Indy 200 16 times out of 26 races, including 6 of the last 8. And here's an interesting fact. No driver has ever earned their first career win here, but if James Hinchcliffe can hold on, he will. But boy, he has a formidable opponent right behind him, Scott Dixon, the pole sitter.
But he is still going to need some yellow to do it, so isn't this where we're supposed to say, you know, we're below the normal number of cautions. There'll be a lot of radio communication getting everyone dialed in on what they want for fuel.
Of 85 laps completed here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, the Honda Indy 200, and James Hinchcliffe is the leader of the race, and he has led the most laps. Dixon has led 23, Danica Patrick led 3 laps, and James Hinchcliffe has now led 24. How are the Ganassi cars doing? Well, Dixon and Franchitti are running second and third. Charlie Kimball and Graham Rahal run 7th and 15th, respectively. And right now, Dario Franchitti has a 41-point lead over Will Power. Came in with a 38-point advantage and has upped it by 3 at this point. We should be seeing pit stops beginning very, very shortly with 51 laps completed as we're on board with Scott Dixon. Once again,
of the leaders, for certain, the first one that's going to stop is going to be Hinchcliffe, just by the basis of when he made his earlier stop. L1 means 1 lap before you pit. So I believe that was a transmission to James Hinchcliffe. And that
L1, 1 more lap, 1 more lap.
And that's outside the window, Bob. So he will need caution to get to the end. You really need to get to lap 54. Maybe 53. 53 is possible. 54 is safer. And so he'll be pitting, looks like, on 52. And that's that 2 laps we've been talking about, short for Hinchcliffe.
And these guys have picked out. I think Scott's trying a little bit harder. Just
leads another lap.
And another good lap, too.
Yeah,
I mean, he's clicking off some good laps.
When they say L1, you still pass the pits.
Right.
And then next time around, that's your in lap.
The lap you see at the top of your screen is the lap they are on, not the number of laps completed.
Once Hinchcliffe pulls off, Scott Dixon should be able to do 2, if not 3 laps. And those are the money laps, Bob, because he's light on fuel, tires are hot, and so while Hinchcliffe pulls off and he's stopped on pit lane, you're going to see Dixon be off to the races. And now this is what pays for Dixon. Make up time during the stop.
Hinchcliffe relinquishes the lead, Marty.
And Dixon even called this. He said, I noticed that Hinchcliffe has picked up his pace a little bit. I bet they pit in the next 3 laps, and to the money, that's when they pitted. You see the slick blacks going on, and his car also had a big understeer late in that run, so they made an air pressure adjustment, trying to get that car a little bit better. Dixon going down the backstretch. We'll see where Hinchcliffe cycles out when all this goes through, Bob.
Headed for turn number 4 as Hinchcliffe comes out in a pack of traffic. And a half advantage.
Oh, and he just lost a spot. That's hard. You come out of the pits and your tires aren't hot, and people are going to be all over you. Now Marco on the outside of Hinchcliffe. Whoa, look out.
Marco gets off course, gets the left side wheels off.
I think he lost a spot to Conway there. His teammate Mike Conway.
And the thing is, when you're getting past like that, because you're getting your tires up to speed and everything, you're losing time on the guys like Dixon and Franchitti when they pit. It's so important to get as much as you can out of a car after you make a pit stop. So it will be interesting to see how when things just kind of cycles through here.
Not surprisingly, Scott Dixon just set the fastest lap of the race. That's what we predicted. He's out there in clean air going for it, while at the same time, and see lots of others now hitting pit road, including his teammate Servia.
So they're able to come in and put on reds. They put on all right. The only non-scuffed tire was the right front. The rest of them were scuffed reds for Dixon to come down pit road. The series cycles out with Hinch.
Yeah, the difference is, I mean, it was the second faster pit stop for Dixon over Hinchcliffe.
Wow, look at that.
But the biggest thing was when he got out in traffic, that cost him a ton of time.
Now, don't forget about Dario Franchitti. Dario Franchitti did not pit. Now he's going to be out there trying to do the same thing that Dixon did to Hinchcliffe, but he had a bigger gap to overcome.
Fuel gets us to the end of the race.
Battle to turn number 4 as the race is about to get a restart.
And I think Dixon, I was going to say, I think Dixon knows he's got to try to get by Franchitti early.
Here he goes.
Because there you go. Yep. Because Franchitti, he knows that Franchitti's going to be almost impossible to pass. He's got to do it now.
And look at Hinchcliffe on the outside getting past and losing many positions.
Wow. Look out for this turn.
Oh, it's like an accordion.
Oh, it is.
I'm surprised that Dario didn't stay driver's right. He was very kind in his... And look at Dixon just take off. Boy.
Except for the right front. They left that as a sticker tire, so having those scuffed tires certainly helps early in a run.
Good call. Yeah, Dario, look at that coming off the keyhole. Got loose.
Oh, a car off and kicking up the dust.
Still moving.
Can't see who it is yet. It's
is
James Hinchcliffe.
Oh,
wow.
Man. Well,
what a shame.
Okay, clean those tires off. Clean those tires off.
So he's going to fall back to last again, at least last of those on the racetrack.
It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah. He was impressive while it lasted.
Guys, real quick on the radio, he just said, guys, I am so sorry. That was totally my fault.
Oh.
James Hinchcliffe thought about probation on lap 1 for some other guys, but let's talk about his day. Not the finish that you wanted, but there's a positive reason to talk to you after the race. You lead 26 laps today, the 20th place finish. Have you ever been through a race with more ups and downs than today?
No, you know, we start with our highest starting place, and then on lap 1, we're right down to the tail of the field, and then we catch that lucky yellow. You know, the team did a great call to get us there, and I mean, we showed that we had pace today. You know, I'm on the radio to me saying you got to save fuel, but you got to keep Scott and Dario behind you. So I said, all right, I'll save fuel, but keep 5 championships behind you, no problem. and the car was great. You know, the guys were awesome, and we came in for that pit stop right before the yellow came out, and I wanted blacks because I'd run so well on that last stint on blacks, but we knew all along they didn't come up to temperature quite as quick. So as soon as that yellow came out, and pretty much everyone except Hunter Ray around me was on reds, I knew I was going to be in trouble. And we lost a couple spots, and ultimately I was just trying to keep up and lost into the keyhole. So pretty devastating day, to be honest.
Is this the one you're reliving, just real quick? Is this the one you're reliving, the restart?
Yeah, that's the one. I mean, it's I don't know how I kept it going through the gravel trap there to keep going, but you know, in warm-up this morning, we found that the black tires the rears took a long time to come in, and I knew that. But I guess that's all part of being a rookie. One thing you can be sure of, any rookies are going to make rookie mistakes, and unfortunately we made a pretty big one today.
Showed well, leading 26 laps, finishes 20th. Kevin.
Marty with stick. He has improved 12 positions in these first sets of laps. And we're back to green flag racing again with Dario up front. And look at Scheckter on the high side again.
Reminds me of what Tony Kanaan does many times on starts and restarts.
Side by side with James Hinchcliffe, and Hinchcliffe coming off a great run. Didn't get the final result he wanted back at Mid-Ohio last week, but he showed what he can do at the wheel of the car, and right now he is up front in that pack as well. Hinchcliffe in the 4th position. Scheckter now up to 3rd. He is fighting it out with Oriol Servia.
Oh, tried to sneak underneath him, ended up having to cut across the back of the bow, and in that scenario he ended up losing the air. He'll take another shot at it here going on the high side.
Settle in, start hitting your mark.
And Hinchcliffe, remember, the rookie from Toronto, Canada, a great driver. Really going to go to school here with 22 of Scheckter now getting past him, Marty.
Let's get an update on Thomas Scheckter. Rick DeBrule.
This is really interesting because, to be honest with you, all weekend long, this team has struggled with this car. In fact, during the morning warm-up, he said, I think the only reason we're starting to improve is because the track is getting worse. It just happens to be coming to us. Suddenly, they are on fire. Now, I will tell you.
Dixon came off there just a little bit slow, the 9 car. And here we go, another fight going on for 3rd spot.
Hinchcliffe takes the spot away from Thomas Scheckter. And right behind those two, Ryan Hunter-Reay is sneaking up on the 2 of them.
He's sort of gone quietly this weekend, Marty, Ryan Hunter-Reay. But
Oriol Servia having a heck of a weekend so far. His best starting position all year started on the front row. Now, something this team opted to do in practice, he said it was taking so long for the tires to get warmed up and to get grip. They actually stuffed every set of tires. They have about 7 sets out here for the race. He and his teammate both did the same thing, guys, and it's been working.
2nd, 3rd, and 4th on your screen as you finish up, Jamie, as these guys are coming into lap traffic. And they had cut the margin to Dario Franchitti because he had to fight his way through all this traffic to down to 2.1 seconds from 5, and now they've got to do it.
And when Jamie was talking about drivers scuffing the tires, that's they just simply take the car out on the racetrack, do 2 or 3 laps to take the shininess off those tires, and then bring them in and get them ready for the race. Hopefully that allows you to get those tires up to temperature and grip maybe a lap or 2 sooner than you would when you first put them on if they were new.
Battle has settled down, at least for the moment. You know, we should let you update on the push-to-pass situation, as Ryan Hunter-Reay has actually used the most so far. He has used 6. And we've ought to explain it one more time, as here comes Hinchcliffe right on his back.
Well, Hinchcliffe's looking on the inside, and what you end up doing, if you want to try and get by somebody, you're having difficulties, you push the button on the steering wheel, and you get a surge of power going forward. Now remember, it just lasts 12 seconds, and hopefully it's enough to allow you to get by. It's like pushing a button on your game console at home, and drivers love it. You just push it, but it's like a credit card, or a debit card, I should say, really, Marty, because what ends up happening, if you use them all up at the beginning, you'll have nothing left at the end of the race. Notice when we've been riding on board with him, it looks like maybe then the car catches in the middle of the turn, and Servia is now in for service. Jamie Little.
James Hinchcliffe is in so far, having the best race he's had all year in the IndyCar series. He has one fast race car, says it is pretty good, no changes expected. 4 tires, they're going to fill it up with fuel. He's the first guy to come down pit road as sprinkles are starting to fall, guys.
Exciting, and there you see Scott Dixon in that number 9 car right now. He is running in 6th position. Right ahead of him is James Hinchcliffe, and right behind him is Ryan Briscoe and J.R. Hildebrand. That acorn, number 18, is James Jakes. He is lap traffic, and there goes the 9 underneath Hinchcliffe. So Scott Dixon, he wasn't kidding around. He says, let's go back to racing. Green flag racing, pace cars off, they're bringing them up to speed. And the race leader again chose the outside, and you heard it, we're racing again. Was Will Power on the high side taking a big risk, but he sees an opportunity and he wants to jump on it.
Well, he has to. He knows here's an opportunity for him to make up a lot of points, so he's now going to be much more aggressive on the inside of Charlie Kimball, who is down a lap or 2.
Kimball is 1 lap down in 9th position. There are 8 cars shown on the lead lap. We can't tell you, Takuma Sato did get back out. He is running in that last 8th position on the lead lap. On board with Danica Patrick. She's running 6th.
Trying to get on the throttle, waiting for the car to give her some confidence, some grip. She's going to take a look on the inside now.
And James Hinchcliffe getting the countdown, having a great weekend. He's been top 10, his fastest in first practice yesterday. He keeps telling the team the car is good. We don't need adjustments, more tires, and they fill it up. Good stuff for James Hinchcliffe.
8.4 seconds for both Danica and Hinchcliffe, and still continuing out there.
And James Hinchcliffe back and forth. He said this track has been quirky, but he's been doing a great job. He's been smiling all weekend, saying it's a lot of fun to drive. It's extremely hard to drive, position on the track, we have contact, guys.
And Hinchcliffe is coming down to finishes now. He's 4th right now, but this is as good. And he should be able to maintain that 4th spot.
He does. Saw the broken line across the racetrack. That is where the timing and scoring stops for qualifying, at least. So Hinchcliffe 4th, Tagliani and Pontino are 5th and 6th as we're on board with.
Yeah, let's give a call to old Hinch. First time he's ever been on the Firestone Fast 6, and even more impressive, Bob, considering the fact that he's one of the very few drivers who did not test here last week. He came to the test, and he told me he watched the race course from every conceivable possible position. He watched how guys got into corners, how they got off corners. Clearly that helped, but he didn't test here, and still in the Firestone Fast 6. Kevin?
As the round 3 is underway, and James Hinchcliffe is on the racetrack, trying to win his very first pole. His best start on a road course this year was 7th at Mid-Ohio, so he has his best start already. There are the rules for the Firestone Fast 6. A very quick 10-minute session, and then we will award the Peak Pole Award and decide the other top 6 starters.
Looking through the season, you would have to put James Hinchcliffe right at the top of people who have surprised and impressed. He has been not just on road courses, on street courses, ovals. He's been the real deal this year.
Yes, he has been. He's done a really good job. He's had some really good finishes going with him and had some problems, but these guys, they are the real deal.
We have another inaugural event coming up a week from tomorrow in Baltimore, and we can't wait for that. A street course looks to be a very competitive one. Certainly a lot different from this natural terrain road course here, but we're looking forward to the inaugural race next Sunday in Baltimore. You'll see it live right here on Versus. James Hinchcliffe's best start of 2011 was just 2 weeks ago when he started 4th at Loudon. So, Jan, you are right. This guy has really been impressive in his first full season of Eyes on IndyCar Series competition. Driving for Newman-Haas. When you go back and look at the history of this place, you know who won the very first pole position for an IndyCar Series race here at Infineon Raceway? And I get to mention 2 legendary names. That's why I like to do this. The pole sitter was Mark Donohue, and the race winner was the legendary Dan Gurney. All right, Marty, Hinchcliffe out on the racetrack.
Well, and remember Mid-Ohio, we talked about he started 7th there. He got knocked out of the Firestone Fast 6 at the very last moment. He told me he was crushed by that, so he's probably thrilled to be in it today. But how impressive has he been lately? Remember, he led 26 laps at Mid-Ohio, didn't have a strong finish there. 4th last week in New Hampshire. You guys talk about him being certainly one of the stories of the year. He is certainly that as we watch Will Power out there on the racetrack, and he called Scott.
It had to be a lot of fun. I know JR is a big baseball fan. He was a good high school baseball player before he shifted his focus to racing, and he is leading the rookie championship right now, but don't count out James Hinchcliffe. Hinch has his best start on a road and street course so far this season. He's going to start 6th today.
Good time for Power to duck on pit road.
James Hinchcliffe he was running in 6th spot. Now relinquishes that spot, Marty, to make the stop.
Yeah, guys, just like Alex Tagliani, he was loose into the corner, tight off of the corner. They're going to make no changes here to the wing, though, because they think the black tires will make a big enough difference. It'll be 3 scuffed black tires. The left front will be a sticker black tire, and they've been running in 6th this entire run for James Hinchcliffe, waiting on the fuel. 8-3 on the stop for him.
Good job, guys. Good job. Let's have a good out lap here, please.
And here's Ryan for Elio, so he's got a different handling car.
Pontino just passed James Hinchcliffe. Wow. That was for 6th position.
Man, good job.
Pontino's on the move, isn't he?
You're trying to find something that rhymed with Pontino, huh?
This is the onboard from Giorgio Pontino to the inside of Hinchcliffe in turn 7.
Perfect.
And there you are. That by far has been the area that we have seen most passing in this race so far with 28 laps completed on lap number 29. It's
Kevin, James Hinchcliffe has lost the spot since he came back out on from pit road. In the earlier run, he was loose in, tied off. They decided to make no changes to it, and he's hanging on in the 7th position. They did not test here, but Hinch did come to the test, said he watched every part of this racetrack, how drivers got into the corner and what they did braking-wise. Said he learned a ton when he was here, even though he wasn't behind the wheel. It's a long way back to EJ Viso with Lindy.
Back out.
James Hinchcliffe gives up his 6th position for his stop.
And Bob, he lost a lot of time at the end of that run. It'll be scuff red tires for Hinch. A lot of debate on blacks or reds for this team, but Hinch said, I need the reds. Clearly, they're faster for everybody. He's back out on the racetrack.
Dixon, it's sitting there at 6, so.
Now these are 4th position though back here. This is
big time.
Good hot battles here.
That's Hinchcliffe and Rahal, 8th and 9th.
Pontono and Bourdais as well.
Yep. And we are on the final lap of the race. The white flag has already been given to the leader, Will Power. Will Power to victory here at Infineon Raceway. Castroneves second. Here is Briscoe third. And here is
Pontono to the inside.
Nice pass.
Forcing Bourdais way high.
I don't think Bourdais liked that very much.
That was a gesture. I wonder how many. What kind of gesture?
Pontono's going to finish 6th, followed by Bourdais, Hinchcliffe, Rahal, and Viso, the top 10.
All right. I'm getting up here. I don't really care. There's Charlie Kimball moving up to the field. Oh, Hinchcliffe's a good quote. Mayor Hinchcliffe.
Yes, sir.
Strategy. You can take the Rookie of the Year lead if you do good today.
Yeah, I could lose it if I do bad, too. So the strategy meeting today went from this could be anywhere from a 1-stop race to a 4-stop race. So
keep your nose clean. You're in the top 5.
That could work.
And you Canadians quit being so negative. Fino, you've been here a long time, brother. AJ Foyt said this is nothing compared to Langhorne.
I don't know how many of these fellas today you could even contemplate them running Langhorne.
Leading the very first lap of the Baltimore Grand Prix. Bourdais, Hunter Ray in 6th. There's Conway, Viso, Dixon, De Silvestro, Jakes, Mira, Pontono, Servia, Hinchcliffe, Kimball. Everybody running cleanly now as one lap is complete. Just a great shot of the straightaway between turns 2 and 3. There's James Hinchcliffe right ahead of Charlie Kimball. And right behind him is Thomas Schechter. Meanwhile, here's Mike Conway and Charlie Kimball as they're continuing to battle it out. That is the battle for 12th position.
So Conway's obviously struggling here.
Yep. It's a great shot in it.
Brian Hunter's got a good car.
Yeah.
Oh, and he taking a look at the inside.
No. Briscoe.
Briscoe hits him.
Oh, no, and he gets clobbered more. Now there's a traffic jam.
Yeah. There's
not good.
There's an inside lane open.
Are they paying a toll?
Oh, man, this is not a laughing matter to many of these guys, but this is what we feared would happen at the start of the race. But they waited until this full course caution.
And Ryan Briscoe set off that chain by making contact with Ryan Hunter.
Around. Mike Hull told him, we're just going to fix what's wrong with the car. We're not going to take fuel. Scott said, I'm going to be out soon. Should we get a splash? So we'll wait and see. James Hinchcliffe also coming in right behind him. They're pitted next to each other as well. They are limping down pit lane. Dixon will pull in, and Hinchcliffe will pull in right behind him. So they're going to need more than tires. So let's see what they try to do. That's real difficulty steering that car in. So they'll assess the number 9 car. They will give it a splash of fuel. And we'll wait and watch. Wow. They sent it back out.
Yep. So they found obviously no suspension damage. That was just by tires being down. That's a break for Dixon. But doesn't look like that is the case for James Hinchcliffe. They go to the rear suspension for him.
Plowman Again, Martin Plowman, right you are, as James Hinchcliffe has had problems since the incident there a few laps ago.
Yeah, Bob, he had an upper and lower wishbone issue, so it took them 12 laps to repair the car. They went back out because they're still very focused on this rookie championship battle. They came in just 3 behind J.R. Hildebrand, and at one point they were running 11. They were 3 or 4 spots ahead of Hildebrand, so they could have come out of here with the points lead for the rookie battle. One positive to report, remember earlier in the year when his deal was announced, he missed the race at St. Pete. He wasn't supposed to go to Brazil. They decided to do that after a good showing at Long Beach, and now we can tell you that they will be going to Japan. That's just been confirmed thanks to their sponsors Sprott and Newman-Haas. So he will still have an opportunity to battle for the rookie championship. And Hinch told me that things are looking good towards next year, and he thinks there's a very good chance he's going to be back at Newman-Haas in 2012 as he climbs out today with no more spots that can be gained.
I hope he's back.
Yeah, he's been really good. Impressive.
Yeah, good guy. And he's had great runs. He just hasn't had the finishes just because of some bad luck. But he's done a pretty darn good job.
Speaking of runs, Rahal short on fuel. They just know that if you have to make one more pit stop than someone else, you're going to give up a lot more track time than if you drive just a little bit slower. So unfortunately, it's just the mathematics that they've found that if you spend less time on pit road than you do on the racetrack, that's how you win races. And
I hate math.
Well, that's why.
These cars have been running in line for several laps now. On board with Takuma Sato, Scott Dixon is the leader of the race.
Experience, of course.
These 8 cars were running nose to tail for many laps, and De Oliveira decided that he was going to give it a whirl, but it didn't work.
And so what you want is you want to be sure you pit now. You need to get into the pits before they close it. So if you see him stopped, you need to get in. Look at this scramble on pit road, but many people didn't stop. That could...
Back at Kentucky Speedway, driver introductions happening right now. J.R. Hildebrand, Graham Rahal, and James Hinchcliffe as well. Hinch, a career best starting position of 3rd today. And his team, Newman-Haas, wins the Polaris Hardest Working Team Award. The 8-time Champ Car title winners have been playing catch-up a bit since the merger in 2008. But not only this season has Hinchcliffe impressed as a rookie, but Oriol Servia is 4th in points. And I really think that they are one of the teams to watch when we get to a level playing field with new equipment coming up in 2012.
Off of corner number 4.
Green, green, green.
We're racing at Kentucky Speedway. You'll see 2 and 3 wide racing on this racetrack. It's been very competitive in the years past. We hope we have a similar race here today. 3 wide going into turn number 3 on the very first lap.
Marco Andretti, red and black at the very top of the screen, immediately started going high. He's right behind the yellow car of Ed Carpenter. And Graham Rahal said he was going to make it tough on Will.
Behind him, there's Rahal to the inside and Hinchcliffe to the outside. Back of them, J.R. Hildebrand and Ed Carpenter.
They were telling Graham Rahal, as they tell others which gear to choose. You have a choice of 5th or 6th gear. They told Graham, stay with.
Continues between Graham Rahal and James Hinchcliffe. As Hinchcliffe goes to the high side, Townsend Bell gains 12 positions in the first 16 laps. Moving up to 14th, Briscoe has gained 8 and Weldon 7. Kevin.
James Hinchcliffe with his best start of the season qualified 3rd. They took off downforce yesterday before qualifying. He said, you know, if I'm going to keep doing this, if I want to be competitive on ovals, it's time to take off the big boy pants. Put on the big boy pants, and he did that yesterday, and he really put up a big number in qualifying, and he's got an opportunity to stay up front today.
Sounds like he's not wearing any pants, according to you, Kevin.
You scared me there,
Let's make it clear, he's wearing pants,
okay,
and they are the man-sized pants.
Okay, I wasn't quite sure what we were going with there.
Hinchcliffe gets such a great run on Rahal on the straightaway, but then he's got to pull out, and he just doesn't have the momentum to pull off the pass. It's just like when you pull out after you're drafting somebody, it's like a parachute going out the back. It really slows the car down. He is right there. Marty.
Graham Rahal continues to be ahead of James Hinchcliffe in the battle for 2nd position. Just a few laps ago, we heard some radio traffic regarding race control and their concern for him entering turn number 1. Let's listen to it.
Now hold your line going into 1. They've given us another chat on the radio. We got to watch our line. We don't want a penalty. Remember, it's the bottom 2 lanes. You can't go above the second white line.
What they were warning him about, and we'll watch him as he goes to turn 1 here live now, is the dash line, the second one. He cannot put his right tires across that line right there. He can run on it, but he cannot go across it. If he does, they think that would be blocking and taking the air away from Hinchcliffe. Now, every time instead of crossing it, he's going straight over it, and race control says that's fine with us. Up. Just lost that spot to Ryan Hunter-Reay.
James Hinchcliffe working the top side. Top 3 stuck together very, very closely as Briscoe looks to the inside of Hinchcliffe now. Behind. Dixon, don't forget, is also mathematically eligible for the championship.
Servia's coming back. Obviously made some good adjustment on his pit stop. Didn't have a great start. Now side by side with his teammate Hinchcliffe on the high side.
Good battle going on there.
He's back behind Ryan Hunter-Reay, and the car was not good at Texas, the last mile-and-a-half racetrack, but this weekend, many changes, much better for he and his teammate James Hinchcliffe with Lindy. Kevin?
Hinchcliffe started in the 3rd position, his best start of the season. He dropped back to 9th around that first pit stop. They picked up some debris on their tire, and that had something to do with them losing some time on pit road in their in and out laps. Back to you, Marty.
Kevin, at the end of the run, Charlie Kimball, too much of a push, he said. They made a change on the last stop. It has not helped, but the car still pushing for Charlie Kimball, who told me this morning he was actually upset that he started the day 10th. He said, we should have been much better. Lindy?
Wade Cunningham behind him. He has driven 4 lights races here.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
I hope they
here comes Graham. He's doing exactly that.
Inside with
Ray right behind Ray Hall and Hildebrand. And again, this is
a rookie. Don't forget that. Inside.
5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th right there.
Lee Orba he's great with his quotes as the spotter for Ray.
And James Hinchcliffe.
Guys, don't you almost have to do that? Jan, if you're in the middle of the pack, you just got to start thinking about that now.
Yep.
All right, Kevin has some reports on medical conditions of crew members.
Well, the first of our 2 pit road incidents was Simona Di Silvestro.
Right behind him is James Hinchcliffe running in 7th position, Kevin.
James Hinchcliffe has been quick today. He was 3rd going into the first pit stop, came out in 10th position. He just simply got caught in traffic. He had to whoa it up to avoid running into somebody. Same thing, 2nd pit stop. He had an opportunity still to get some positions back, but was caught in the melee in that last incident on pit road. So maybe we can still watch on Hinchcliffe to be a factor. Dario Franchitti leads here at Kentucky.
They say that hoping that some other team might think, oh, they're not using it, maybe I shouldn't, but no one fell for it. They were all on it.
Yeah, these guys running. Carpenter's got a pretty good run there.
Oh, this is excellent.
Can run as low as Franchitti has. He hasn't all day long.
Our bed's made. We want to stay right there, baby. Got some guys come behind you, but they're not going anywhere. Good job. Led that lap. Let's go.
Will it be that way on the 200th lap? We've only got less than 9 laps to go. Scott Dixon in 3rd, looking strong.
But if Scott Dixon gets too close, it'll help Carpenter taking it, giving
the first 8 cars are running within a second of each other with the closing laps here at Kentucky. 2 by 2 for 1st and 2nd and 3rd and 4th. And Wade Cunningham looks like he might come up to challenge James Hildebrand for 5th position. They're going to go side by side.
6 to go. Stick with it. All right, white flag here.
All right, 1 more lap to go.
Carpenter led that lap.
Stick with it, buddy. You can do this.
Now watch Scott Dixon as he's going to take a look to the outside.
Now Franchitti's out of push to passes, and Carpenter has 1 lap.
Oh, that could be the difference. They go down the backstretch and race into turn number 3.
Overtake.
Will Ed Carpenter be able to get his first win in the Eyes on IndyCar Series? Here they come to the line, and it is
Carpenter.
Ed Carpenter wins. How about that?
James James Hinchcliffe, your last mile and a half was Texas. Not so good. Night and day here. What changed?
Yeah, I mean, it was our worst race of the year. So when we saw the schedule looking at 2 mile and a half to finish off the season, we were really nervous. But, you know, credit to the Newman-Haas guys. They worked so hard to make sure that we didn't have a repeat of the problems we had in Texas, and rolled off strong, qualified our best qualifying of the year, which was great. And in the race, you know, we were racing, and we had a bunch of problems in the pits. All 3 pit stops, we lost positions for various reasons, and, you know, not all our fault, sometimes just sort of circumstance. But we had a great car. We got back on those restarts, and were able to sort of get up to those packs and race our way through, guys. So huge credit to the team. Got to thank them so much. It was a lot of fun out there.
And your teammate says you don't act like a rookie, doesn't think you are. Do you feel like one real quick?
I mean, I do. I mean, I'm there the last couple laps, and it's Dario, it's Dixon, it's Hunter Ray, it's Carpenter. I'm thinking, you know, I've watched these guys for years. I shouldn't be racing with these guys right now. But
and here you are finishing 4th among them.
And here we are.
Yeah, over to you, Marty.